move quickly on to our next group, which is the Cork Traveller Visibility Group. And we'll have Nora Cash and Biddy McDonough speaking to us later. But we are going to first just look at a video that they have done for today, and they'll come in then and answer any questions you might have asked afterwards. So thank you very much. I'll leave that to Dennis there now.
Good morning everyone, and welcome to our workshop on this Feel Good Friday. I hope everyone is keeping well today. My name is Biddy McDonough and I'm a travel community healthcare worker in TVG. TVG is a traveller-led organisation that supports travellers to access services, and it also supports travellers in all aspects of life. I would now like to hand you over to Nora Cash.
Hi everyone, my name is Nora Cash. I'm a traveller community healthcare worker here in TVG in Cork. My role as a traveller community healthcare worker is to support traveller families with information about services and services information about traveller families.
Mental health in the travel community was always an issue, but more so now. It's a crisis now, especially since COVID-19 started.
Yeah. I think why it's such a big crisis is because the traveller community face an awful lot of discrimination. And having the two issues, mental health and being discriminated in, can leave you in a very bad place. Travellers find it very difficult to access services because of language barriers. Sometimes travellers are not educated enough to understand their diagnosis, so they're leaving that service completely blank and not knowing what's going on for them. So then that's a bigger impact on their mental health, because they're coming out, they're nodding their head and they're thinking that, what am I going to do now? I haven't got the confidence to go back in and ask and explain that I don't understand what they're telling me is wrong with me or my family member. So I suppose at a time like that, you just have to try and advise people to take their time, speak up for themselves, ask questions and take time out for their mental health. What I would do, whenever I feel down and out or feel too stressed, I would probably go for a walk, or maybe sit in a park, or go and ring a friend and go and have a cup of tea somewhere or something like that. I think that's very beneficial. But always take time out for yourself and for your mental health, because it's very important, because your mind can get overloaded.
Yeah, I think taking time for yourself is so important, and I would like to do that as well. I would like to actually talk to people, go and have a chat with someone, listen to music, because I love music, and I would sit down, especially in the winter, coming into the long winter evenings now when it's actually dark very, very early. It can get very, can bring your mood down an awful lot. So I would actually sit, when I feel stressed out, I would sit inside in my kitchen and I'd play some music, and I would actually start making paper flowers. And I think it's even the colour of the paper flowers in the long winter evenings gives you a boost. Good way.
And I think it's very important as well for young teenagers and younger children to see you taking time out for yourself. And especially if you're stressed or after going through a bad patch, it's good for them to see you taking time out. And it's good when they ask the questions like, why are you taking time out? And you can explain. And then they know like that that's the routine. And if they're ever feeling down and out themselves, that to take time out and realise what's happening for them, that everybody is equal, and it happens to everybody, and everybody gets stressed at some point in their life and their mental health don't feel good and they need some time out. So it's very important to be that role model for your children, your family and your community by taking time out.
And I suppose that's where we're actually trying to do as travel community healthcare workers in TVG, as being, I suppose, role models within our own family, but we want to try to promote good mental health, and we would do that around all the activities that we would be setting up. but for our own families, when they're actually seeing us actually going out there, being more positive about our mental health, asking our children question, are you okay? Just telling them that it's okay to be not okay, and that takes away the stigma of the shame surrounding poor mental health. We're going to start making the paper flowers, and before we actually start making them, we're just going to show you some of the materials that we used in the past, and we're still using some of those materials now. This is crepe paper, but we used to know traditionally as paper, just flower paper, that's all we called it, because we didn't know it was called crepe paper. We called it flower paper. This is a scissors. We have a scissors, we have a wire cutter, and we have some wires. Those are the wires that we actually using today. We have some paper to cover the stems with. In the past, we didn't have all of those tools to hand. We used what we had. Mainly, the women would gather chicken wire and they would use that. They may not have a scissors, so they used clips that their traveller men would have used for cutting the tinsmith. They would have used that. Or we would have used copper wire when the men would be gathering this scrap. They would get copper wire and they would actually peel the copper wire for them, and they would use that.
Yeah. And some women would have also long ago used some toilet tissue for making paper flowers if they didn't have crepe paper. My mother was often telling me that, and they would melt candle grease to drop on it so it looked like the dew was on the flowers to make them more realistic.
Yeah, they had creative ways of doing it. I remember when my mother used to make them and my grandmother used to make them, they would actually, coming up to Christmas, for instance, coming up to Christmas, they would get the Christmas colours, and we get the green paper, and we'd get the red paper and the white paper, and we'd be making the flowers. And we would actually go to the towns and the markets with them and sell them for them. That time, it was the flowers were mainly used and made for a ways of living, plus support the family's income. Today, we make the flowers for relaxation.
Just traditional. Keep the idea going and to show younger children about what their mothers and grandmothers would have done when they were younger. And I suppose, as Biddy said, it was very seasonal work. Travellers went from place to place, and every year you'd know, this is what my mother told me, where your callbacks would be, where you'd sell your basket of flowers for Easter, for Christmas, for different times. So it was kind of a traditional, and everybody had their different ways of doing it in different parts of the country. So now I suppose we're going to start on making a paper flower and to let you see what way we do it. And sometimes I might do it a bit different to Biddy, and Biddy might do it a bit different to me, but they're all beautiful all the time, colourful.
Yeah. So I suppose we will start now, and we will take
I suppose
we usually take maybe about 4 inches of paper, and we will cut that. So we'll just take one piece and we'll cut here first. Yeah, so Laura, you make a bigger one, is it? Yeah. So what I would do with this one, I would actually half the paper like this, or just like this, couple of minutes.
Now just pause there and I'll just say what I do. I will cut the tops off of mine in triangular, make a different shape in my flowers like that. Kind of little pints on my flowers. I've just cut like a line in each way, like that. And I'll show you in a minute now why. Like that. So then,
so I suppose again in the past, why we're actually sitting in this position and using our knees, because in the past we didn't have tables or chairs. All this flower making was actually done sitting around campfires. So the women used their knees for a table. So this is how we're using this. So we get a butter knife or a blunt knife, and we'd use the back of the knife, and we would actually curl the paper.
And we would bulge out the paper like that to make it more of a shape in the flower. before we start curling. This is the way I was taught to do mine, and Billy's mother probably each time.
Yeah, much
It
was on the same method and the same technique for actually making the flowers. But again, some might make different types. So I like to make the roses. Those are the ones I like, and Nora will have made different types of flowers as well.
But it's the same idea of the roll in with the back part of the butter knife, just a plain simple tool.
And we run the paper and through our thumbs like that, and as Nora said, this is to give a bit of shape to the paper. So we got our two fingers like this, and we'll actually start rolling the paper gently around our fingers, not too tight because it'll be hard to get it off. And we just roll it like that, like so, like that. We take it off nice and gentle like that, and we sort of pinch it like that. So I'm going to get one of those little pieces of green paper, and we would actually do this with our thumbs as well. That's to give the leaf a little bit of shape, and we pinch it in there. We would get one of those little wires, and we bend about that much. We put it around here.
Billy's more experienced than me now, faster. So
and we'll sort of do this then in it. You get this then, and we will actually get a piece of this paper here for the stems, and we would actually just start rolling.
And I suppose it's a lovely workshop to do with small children as well, because it's very enjoyable. People can be very curious, and it's very easy to do.
And you can actually leave your mind wander, and it's great for your mental health.
And I suppose every year, like, it's lovely, and you're all welcome to come. We have Culture Night in TVG, and we often put on paper flower workshops. Unfortunately, this year things have been different because of COVID-19, but hopefully next year things will be different, and you're all more than welcome to come and join us in Travel Pride Week or Culture Night to see some live workshops.
And you can also feel free to contact the TVG or any from your healthcare workers at any time that you need. You might need to find out more about the traveller community or what supports TVG are actually giving the community. So that's the finished project, and we would like to thank you for actually sitting in our workshop this morning.